Haikyu, decisive battle at the garbage dump, was not as good as expected. And here's why. I'm going to focus on 3 categories: the hype, the characters, and the production itself. So let's start off with the hype. What do I mean by the hype? Basically saying that the movie kind of fell flat for the amount of energy and excitement that was portrayed in the trailer. About halfway into the trailer, they started to actually show the match between the two teams. It showed quite a few exciting moments. Things like Asahi's crazy spike, Kageyama's spike serve, Nekoma's libero with a crazy receive. But when it came to the actual movie, these scenes were just so subtle. Normally when watching an episode of Haikyuu, you see a bunch of character moments between each team, and you have these struggles back and forth between like the blockers and the spikers, or the server and the opponent team's libero. You have a back and forth between the two teams. Now, not to say that the movie didn't have this, there still was this back and forth between the two teams and the very intense moments, but it kind of fell flat in comparison to the rest of the show, especially the last season. The match against Inori Izaki had so many intense moments, like Hinata landing that perfect receive, Atsumu Miya's ridiculously low set, or Tanaka finally believing in himself and getting that crazy cross shot. This match had you on the edge of your seat, not only because of these crazy moments, but also just because of how intense the back and forth between the two teams was. It was so close the entire time. Now, that's not to say that the movie didn't have crazy scenes or crazy moments, but they just didn't have as much impact as they had throughout the rest of the show. Now let's talk about the characters. The characters' development and history of development kind of fell flat throughout the entire movie. The story focused a lot on Kenma. We got a lot into his and his best friend Koro's friendship and how they became friends, and how they kind of developed their skills in volleyball and how they got better and better over the years. This led into Kenma's friendship with Hinata, and how Hinata influenced Kenma to actually finally truly love the game. So because of this, during the match, this was pretty much the only kind of big character moment or big rivalry moments that we got through the entire game. It's not like they were bad or uninteresting moments, it's just that there weren't a lot of moments for the actual team members or this kind of back and forth rivalry that we normally get. Something like Daichi hyping everyone up, saying that they got this, they can do what they can to they've got this far. Or something like Tanaka or Nishinoya getting super hyper or hyper focused when they know that the game is on them. Or even simple banter between the teams. Because again, it's not like there wasn't any at all, it just wasn't as big or as boastful as it normally is. So essentially, there wasn't enough character moments for the team, especially with knowing how much each character had to go through to get to the point where they're at right now, to have this close of a rally, this close of a game with Nekoma. We normally see the excitement from Nishinoya passing the overhead ball, or Asahi getting the spike down right away and the excitement he has from succeeding that really well. There was not enough of those moments for the individual team members, or even just this back and forth between Daichi and the captain or anything like that. There's normally some sort of commotion that's going on between the two teams, other than Hinata and Kenma. So it basically fell flat on all the other team members that we have seen grow and develop throughout the entire show. Lastly, the production. In this part, I'm not going to be as negative as I was in the last 2 parts, because this is my thoughts on kind of the movie as a whole. Firstly, I like how the animation increased. Just like every season has gotten better throughout the entire show's run, the animation has kind of gotten better and increased even more, and you see more details in the characters' faces and emotions, and the gameplay has gotten a lot better graphics throughout the years as well. Unlike some other shows that kind of went down in certain parts, we'll just leave those over there. Next, I really liked some of the interesting new camera angles. For some of the cases, it actually made you more immersed in the game than you ever have been before. so it actually made you feel more of the impact of the big spike or block that just happened. But, on the other hand, this brings me to my next point, that they used too little of shots of the actual players playing the game. Because this was a Nationals match, it was televised, therefore people were watching it on their phones, computers, laptops, what have you, and we ended up spending a little too much time with these other random characters watching the game on their phone, other than in the game with the Karasuno players that we normally would see. So this was kind of frustrating, getting too many shots of people that we don't really care about instead of the main characters that we're here to focus on. So then, talking about the players, the next point I wanted to bring up is the fact that there wasn't as many kind of big, crazy, oh my god moments. There were definitely a few and a good kind of back and forths and long rallies, but there were not as many intense moments as we normally get. Things like an out of the blue setter dump from Kageyama, or like in the match with Alba Josai, when Oikawa jumps out of bounds to save the ball from landing out of bounds and falls into the table just to make the play. There weren't as many of those oh my god moments as there has been before. And lastly, just how the game ended. Again, I'm not going to go into any spoilers, but once you see the movie, I'm sure you'll know what I'm talking about. There you go. There are some of my thoughts on the most recent Haikyu movie. I thought it was alright, not terrible, not fantastic, just pretty midway. Had some decent character moments, but some that stuck too long, and there were some moments that were really good and some that were just oddly there for no reason. But those are just my thoughts. If you've seen it and you think my opinions are completely right, completely wrong, somewhere in between, leave a comment below and we'll have a bit of a discussion. It'll be fun. And other than that, if you like me or any of the content I make, maybe consider subscribing. I'm on my way to my first 100 subscribers, so that would definitely help me out. Other than that, I hope you like this video. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.